At 08:51 hours, I submitted my voluntary security clearance revocation to the Defense Security Service. By 10:15, federal investigators were in the parking lot. By 15:30, my former employer was under federal investigation. I'm Gerald Holloway. People call me Dutch. 51 years old, been working defense contracts for 15 years. Before that, 18 years, Navy electronics. You learn a few things about systems when you spend that long keeping military equipment operational. Let me back up to yesterday morning when this whole thing started. I was running diagnostics on the authentication server when Bryce Ashford walked into my workspace. Harvard MBA, 31 years old, been with Apex Defense Solutions for exactly 8 months. Vice President of Strategic Optimization, which apparently means finding ways to cut costs without understanding what those costs actually cover. Dutch, got a minute? He had that tone corporate types use when they're about to deliver bad news, but want to sound casual about it. I checked my tactical watch. 07:45. What's the status, Bryce? We need to discuss your position here. As part of our efficiency optimization initiative, we're streamlining redundant administrative functions. I kept my hands on the keyboard. In Fallujah, when intel came down wrong, you learned to listen carefully to what people weren't saying. Bryce wasn't talking about administrative functions. He was talking about my clearance. Your security credentials overlap significantly with other team members, he continued. The board feels your master security clearance represents outdated operational overhead. I rotated my chair to face him. 18 years of maintaining federal authentication protocols, ensuring compliance across 14 different vendor relationships, managing classified data access for contracts worth $18 million annually. Bryce saw overhead. I saw the critical infrastructure keeping everything operational. When's the transition timeline? I asked. Actually, we're implementing immediate optimization. Today's your last day. I checked my watch again. 07:46. Protocol demanded 30-day advance notice for clearance status changes on active federal contracts. Bryce either didn't know this requirement or didn't care. Roger that, I said. I'll need to process the paperwork. Bryce looked relieved. He probably expected arguments, emotional responses, demands for explanations. That's not how you handle mission-critical system modifications. You follow procedure. After Bryce left, I sat at my workstation for a few minutes, thinking through the implications. 18 years of building relationships with vendors, understanding the intricate web of federal compliance requirements, maintaining the authentication protocols that kept everything running smoothly. Bryce thought it was redundant overhead. He was about to learn otherwise. First step was accessing the Defense Security Service portal. Master security clearance holders can voluntarily revoke their own credentials, but the system requires confirmation that you understand the implications. I clicked through each warning screen methodically. Waiting, clearance revocation will immediately suspend authorization for all dependent contracts. Waiting, revocation cannot be reversed without full reinvestigation process. Waiting, all vendor authentication protocols will require recertification. At 8:51, I submitted the revocation. The system generated confirmation number DSS 7749 ALF AL for Revc. I printed the documentation and walked it to Charles Hampton's office. Charles has been CEO of Apex for 6 years. Former Lockheed executive, understands how defense contracts actually work. Unfortunately, he was in meetings all morning, so I left the paperwork with his assistant. By 09:45, I had my personal items packed. Not much accumulates when you spend 18 years focused on system maintenance rather than office decoration. A few technical manuals, some tools, my Navy coffee mug. I was walking to my truck when the first wave hit. My phone buzzed. Rebecca Torres from Secure Vault Systems, our hosting provider. Dutch, thank God you answered. We're getting authentication failures across all Tier 5 servers. What's happening over there? I leaned against my truck door. Just letting you know I'm no longer authorized for system overrides. Silence, then frantic typing sounds. But your credentials are primary contact on our federal compliance portal. You're listed as the designated authentication officer. That's correct. You'll need to contact someone else at Apex, who we don't have backup credentials in our system. If we can't verify compliance status, federal regulations require immediate service suspension. I understand you should probably call Apex directly. We tried. Got transferred to someone named Jason who said he'd circle back and hung up. I checked my watch, 10:03. The authentication failures would cascade through all vendor relationships within the hour. Each vendor system was configured to my specific clearance credentials. Without valid authentication, every automated compliance check would fail. Rebecca was still talking Dutch. This is serious. We're talking about complete service suspension for all classified hosting environments. Roger that, Rebecca. Good luck. I disconnected and started my truck. The second wave was probably already building. Wayne Fletcher called at 10:18, advanced components, our primary electronics supplier. Wayne's been managing our procurement relationship for 12 years, knows the systems inside and out. Dutch, we've got dashboard alerts showing authentication server problems. Someone tried rebooting your security hub around 10:00. Now it's locked in safe mode. They what? Yeah, looks like they treated it like a regular Windows machine. Hit restart when the access card started throwing errors. System won't accept administrative commands now. I pulled into a coffee shop parking lot. Who authorized the reboot? Don't know. Our monitoring just shows the restart command, then lockout protocols engaged. We've got $40,000 in pending shipments that can't be processed without clearance verification. How long to restore from backup? That's the problem. The backup authentication keys were linked to your credentials. Without your clearance active, we can't unlock the restore protocols. I checked my watch, 10 to 21. Third wave incoming. James Crawford called at 10:45. We served together on the USS Cole, both electronics techs. James works procurement at Raytheon now, manages their vendor relationships with smaller defense contractors. Dutch just got an automated alert about Apex's security status. Says all classified contracts are under compliance review. What's the story? Long story. Short version. New management made some optimization decisions. Jesus. How bad is it? Depends how you define bad. All vendor authorizations tied to my clearance just went dark. Federal compliance monitoring probably triggered automatic reviews. Dutch, that's not just bad, that's catastrophic. Raytheon's got 3 active contracts with Apex. If those get suspended pending investigation, I know they'll audit everything. Financial records, personnel files, security procedures. If they find any compliance gaps, Apex could lose their contractor certification entirely. I was watching the clock 10 to 47. The federal monitoring systems would have registered the clearance revocation by now. Automated compliance algorithms were probably already flagging anomalies, generating investigation requests, updating status databases across multiple agencies. James, I need to go, but you might want to update your procurement team about potential delays. At 11:30, I was home working on my truck when the local news van pulled up across the street. Then a second van. Someone had tipped them off about federal activity at Apex. My phone rang. Number I didn't recognize, federal area code. Mr. Holloway, professional female voice, the kind that comes from years of conducting security interviews. This is Agent Sarah Caldwell with the Defense Security Service. We need to discuss your clearance revocation this morning. Yes, ma'am. Can you confirm the revocation was voluntary and not the result of any security concerns or coercion? Voluntary, yes, ma'am. Filed the paperwork myself at 8:51. And you understand this action has suspended operations at your former employer pending security review? I figured it might. I could hear keyboard sounds in the background. Multiple people working, probably cross-referencing databases and generating investigation protocols. Mr. Holloway, we have your personnel file. 18 years of clean reviews, commendations from multiple program managers, and a compliance memo from 2022 specifically warning about this scenario. Yes, ma'am. The memo outlined risks of terminating cleared personnel without proper succession planning. It was addressed to Apex's board of directors with copies to legal counsel.
That's correct. In your professional opinion, was this termination handled according to federal security protocols? Loaded question?
Agent Caldwell was giving me an opportunity to document Apex's regulatory violations, probably building a case for administrative penalties. No, ma'am. Federal regulations require 30-day advance notice for clearance status changes on active contracts. No such notice was filed. Would you be available for consultation while we conduct our investigation? I'm retired, ma'am, but I'd be happy to provide technical assistance if needed. The fourth wave hit around 14:30. Client notifications. Apex's biggest customers, Lockheed, General Dynamics, Northrop Grumman, all receiving automated alerts that their classified contracts had been suspended due to security compliance failures. Those notifications would trigger emergency meetings, alternative contractor evaluations, and very pointed questions to Charles Hampton about what exactly had happened to their security infrastructure. Meanwhile, I was getting calls from other vendors in the supply chain, each one discovering that their authentication systems were locked out, their pending orders frozen, their compliance certifications suddenly invalid. Paula Martinez from Consolidated Electronics called it 1415. Her company manufactured specialized circuit boards for our missile guidance systems. Dutch, our production line just shut down. Quality control systems won't accept authentication for lot verification. We've got $200,000 in components that can't be shipped without clearance approval. Sorry to hear that, Paula. You'll need to contact Apex's new security team. What new security team? Nobody there knows how your authentication protocols work. Some kid named Bryce told us to figure it out and hung up. Then David Pearson from Precision Instruments. His company calibrated testing equipment for our satellite communication projects. Dutch, what's happening? Our certification database shows access denied across all Apex-related contracts. 18 months of calibration data just became inaccessible. That's unfortunate, David. Federal compliance requires individual clearance verification for all classified testing protocols. But how do we restore access? We've got delivery deadlines that can't be missed. New clearance holder needs to recertify all testing protocols from scratch. Probably takes 6 to 8 months if everything goes smoothly. I could hear him calculating the financial impact. 6 months of delayed deliveries, recertification costs, potential contract penalties. His voice was quiet when he spoke again. Dutch, this is going to bankrupt some of these smaller suppliers. At 14 to 45, I was finishing lunch when the black sedan with federal plates pulled into my driveway. Charles Hampton climbed out of the passenger seat looking like he'd aged 10 years in 6 hours. He walked up to my porch slowly, hands visible, no sudden movements. Dutch, we need to talk afternoon, Charles. Coffee? Please? I poured 2 cups and we sat on the porch. Charles stared at his coffee for a full minute before speaking. The feds shut us down. Complete operational suspension pending full security review. I heard all our vendor relationships are frozen. Clients are demanding explanations I can't provide. The board is asking questions I don't have answers for. I checked my watch. 14:52. What do you need, Charles? I need to understand what happened. Bryce said he was optimizing administrative overhead, claims your position was redundant. Bryce doesn't understand security clearance economics. He saw my salary and thought it was expensive. Didn't calculate the operational dependencies. What dependencies? Every vendor authentication protocol, every compliance verification system, every federal contract authorization, all linked to my clearance credentials. When I revoked access, the entire security infrastructure went dark. Charles set down his coffee cup. His hand was shaking slightly. How long to fix this? Depends. New master security clearance takes 18 to 24 months to process. During that time, Apex can't bid on new federal contracts. Existing contracts stay suspended until compliance is restored. What about temporary solutions? There aren't any. Security clearances can't be transferred or shared. The whole point is individual accountability. Charles was quiet for another minute. I could hear the tactical watch ticking on my wrist. In the distance, more news vans were pulling into the neighborhood. Dutch, I just got off a conference call with the board. We're looking at potential bankruptcy if this drags out more than 3 months. 1,800 employees, their families, pension obligations. I understand. Bryce submitted his resignation 2 hours ago, effective immediately. The board asked me to explore options for resolving this situation. I waited. Dutch, what would it take to get you back? I leaned back in my porch chair, studying Charles's face. The morning's confidence had evaporated completely. This wasn't the CEO who'd hired Bryce 8 months ago to modernize operations. This was a man staring at the collapse of everything he'd built. That's a complicated question, Charles. Few moving parts to consider. Name them. First, clearance reactivation. I'll need to file a formal request through DSS channels, plus justification for the reversal. Agent Caldwell seemed open to expedited processing, but there's still paperwork and approval chains. What else? Working conditions. I've spent 18 years building relationships with vendors, understanding compliance requirements, maintaining authentication protocols. That knowledge has value. Charles nodded slowly. What kind of value? Bryce's old office would be appropriate. The one with corner windows and executive parking space. For the first time since he'd arrived, Charles almost smiled. Done. Salary conversation can wait until systems are operational again. But we're talking about consulting rates, not employee compensation. Premium rates for emergency restoration work. Understood. Anything else? I checked my watch. 15:05. Authority to restructure security operations without MBA interference. No more optimization initiatives that compromise federal compliance. You'll have full authority over security infrastructure. Then we have an agreement. Charles pulled out his phone and made a call. Agent Caldwell, this is Charles Hampton, CEO of Apex Defense Solutions. I'm here with Gerald Holloway discussing his clearance reactivation. The conversation lasted 15 minutes. Agent Caldwell asked detailed questions about succession planning, compliance procedures, and management oversight of security operations. Charles answered each one carefully, occasionally glancing at me for confirmation. When he hung up, Charles looked relieved. She's approving expedited reactivation. Full clearance restoration by tomorrow morning, contingent on federal oversight during the transition period. Oversight meaning what? DSS compliance officer on site for 30 days, monitoring all security procedures, vendor relationships, authentication protocols, making sure this doesn't happen again. I could live with that. Federal oversight would actually strengthen our position with vendors and clients. Nobody argues with DSS compliance officers. That evening, Agent Caldwell called my personal line. Mr. Holloway, your reactivation request has been approved. Expedited processing due to operational security requirements and national security implications of the contract suspensions. Thank you, ma'am. However, there will be conditions. Federal oversight of your security operations for 90 days, not 30 weekly compliance reviews, and a formal investigation into Apex's management practices that led to this situation. Roger that. Mr. Holloway, off the record, what happened today was completely avoidable. Someone in Apex's management chain ignored basic federal security protocols. That kind of negligence puts national security contracts at risk. Yes, ma'am. The investigation will determine whether criminal charges are warranted. Willful violation of security protocols can carry significant penalties. After she hung up, I spent the evening reviewing vendor documentation and compliance protocols, planning the restoration sequence. 23 systems to reactivate, 14 vendor relationships to recertify, multiple federal agencies to notify about status changes. But first, I needed to understand exactly how much damage Bryce's optimization had caused. I called Rebecca Torres at SecureVault around 20:00. Thank God. Please tell me you're coming back. Tomorrow morning, what's the current status? Complete lockdown. All Tier 5 servers in safe mode, authentication protocols frozen, compliance monitoring showing red across all federal contracts. We've had to suspend hosting for 12 other defense contractors because their authentication chains run through your clearance. That was worse than I'd expected. The cascading effects had spread beyond Apex to other companies using the same hosting infrastructure. How many contractors affected? 14 total. Everything from small engineering firms to mid-size manufacturers. They're all screaming at us to restore service, but we can't do anything without valid clearance authentication. Any of them blame Apex specifically. Dutch, they're talking about lawsuits, breach of contract, financial damages, reputation harm. One company said they're considering criminal charges for sabotage. I made notes while she talked. Criminal liability for Apex was looking more serious than Charles realized. Wayne Fletcher was next on my call list. Dutch, please tell me this nightmare is ending. Tomorrow morning, give me the damage assessment. $40,000 in frozen shipments, like I mentioned, but it gets worse. Our automated quality control systems are locked out of verification protocols. We've got production lines backed up for 3 weeks. Components piling up that can't be certified without your clearance verification. What about other suppliers in your network? That's the real problem. We're the primary electronic supplier for 8 different defense contractors. All of them use authentication protocols linked to various clearance holders. When word got out about what happened at Apex, 3 other companies immediately reviewed their security dependencies, and 2 of them fired their cleared personnel this afternoon, said they couldn't afford the risk of another Apex situation. I stopped writing. They what? Fired their security people. Same logic as Bryce. Thought they were cutting overhead. Now we've got 3 more companies facing federal investigations. The implications were staggering. Bryce's optimization hadn't just destroyed Apex. It had triggered a panic reaction across the defense contractor community. Other executives, seeing what happened to Apex, had made the same mistake in reverse, firing cleared personnel to avoid dependency risks. The entire defense supply chain was unraveling. James Crawford called at 20:45. Dutch, this is bigger than we thought. Raytheon's emergency procurement team is meeting tonight. They're identifying alternative suppliers for every contract that runs through compromised clearance chains. How many contracts? Hundreds, maybe thousands. The authentication dependencies run deep through the supply network. When one link breaks, entire chains collapse. What's Raytheon's timeline? Immediate alternative sourcing for critical components. They're talking about blacklisting any supplier that can't demonstrate secure clearance protocols within 72 hours, including Apex, especially Apex. Word is spreading fast about what happened. Nobody wants to risk their federal contracts on companies with unstable security management. I understood now why Agent Caldwell had mentioned criminal charges. This wasn't just administrative negligence. Bryce's optimization had caused a cascading failure that threatened national security supply chains. The financial damages alone would run into hundreds of millions. Defense contractors, suppliers, manufacturers, all facing contract suspensions, production delays, and federal investigations. All because one MBA thought security clearances were administrative overhead. At 21:30, Charles called again. Dutch, I've been getting calls all evening. Lawyers, board members, federal investigators. This is escalating beyond anything we anticipated. How bad? Department of Defense is considering emergency procurement protocols. They're identifying alternative contractors for all suspended contracts. If we lose those relationships, Apex doesn't recover. Exactly, Dutch. I need you to understand, Minus, tomorrow isn't just about restoring our operations. It's about proving to DoD that we can be trusted with national security contracts. I understand. No pressure, but the company's survival depends on how smoothly this restoration goes. I checked my tactical watch, 21 to 35. Tomorrow would bring the biggest challenge of my career. Not just technical restoration, but rebuilding trust with federal agencies, vendors, and clients who'd watched Apex nearly collapse in a single day. Sometimes the best tactical move is patience. Let the other side make mistakes, then execute your mission according to plan. But sometimes you have to save the mission from complete failure first. At 07:30 the next morning, I drove through Apex's parking lot past the news vans and federal vehicles. Security guards at the main entrance checked my identification against a list, then waved me through. The building felt different, quieter. Administrative staff moved carefully, speaking in hushed tones. Everyone understood that federal investigators were watching every procedure, every conversation, every decision. Bryce's former office had been cleared out overnight. Fresh coffee in the executive machine, corner windows overlooking the entire facility. My new nameplate was already on the door. Gerald Holloway, Director of Security Operations. Agent Caldwell was waiting inside along with a DSS compliance officer named Agent Reeves. Both wore the kind of professional neutrality that comes from years of investigating security breaches. Mr. Holloway, Agent Caldwell said, "Your clearance has been fully restored as of 8/8s this morning. Agent Reeves will be overseeing compliance monitoring for the next 90 days. Roger that. What's the restoration priority? Agent Reeves consulted his tablet. Vendor authentication first, then client notification protocols, then federal compliance verification. We need to demonstrate operational security before DoD considers lifting the contract suspensions. I checked my tactical watch and started making calls. First to Rebecca at Secure Vault, then Wayne at Advanced Components, then the certification teams at all 14 vendor relationships. Each conversation followed the same pattern: relief that restoration was beginning, concern about timeline pressures, questions about preventing future disruptions. By 09:30, authentication protocols were showing green status on the primary systems. By 10:15, vendor relationships were coming back online. By 1100, the first compliance certifications were processing successfully. Agent Reeves monitored every step, documenting procedures, verifying protocols, ensuring that each restoration followed federal security requirements exactly. Charles knocked on my door at 11:45. Dutch DoD procurement is on line 1. They want to discuss contract restoration timeline. The conversation lasted 30 minutes. Colonel Patricia Stevens from Defense Contract Management Agency asking detailed questions about security infrastructure, vendor dependencies, and management oversight procedures. Mr. Holloway, we need assurance that yesterday's incident won't be repeated. These contracts involve sensitive technology transfers and classified research programs. Understood, Colonel. We've implemented new management protocols requiring federal approval for any security-related personnel changes. What about succession planning? Cross-training programs for 2 additional cleared personnel with DSS oversight of all training and certification processes. Timeline for full operational certification: 72 hours for complete vendor network restoration. 1 week for full compliance verification. When I hung up, Agent Caldwell was studying her notes carefully. Mr. Holloway, the Colonel seemed satisfied with your responses. However, the investigation into management negligence is still ongoing. What's the focus? Whether yesterday's clearance revocation constituted willful violation of federal security protocols. If so, criminal charges may be filed against the responsible parties. Charles had gone pale. What kind of charges? Potential violations include willful compromise of national security contracts, negligent endangerment of classified programs, and conspiracy to defraud the United States government. By 1400, all primary vendor systems were operational. Client notifications had been sent to every affected contract, explaining the restoration timeline and new security protocols. Federal compliance monitoring showed green status across all major systems. But the real test came at 15:30, when the DoD Procurement Review Board convened via secure conference to evaluate Apex's operational status. I spent an hour walking them through authentication protocols, vendor certification procedures, and the new management structure that prevented unauthorized security changes. Agent Reeves provided compliance verification. Charles explained the corporate governance changes that gave security operations authority over all clearance-related decisions. At 16:45, Colonel Stevens called with the decision. Mr. Holloway, Based on your restoration procedures and new security protocols, DoD is lifting the contract suspension effective immediately. However, enhanced oversight will continue for 6 months. Thank you, Colonel. Mr. Holloway, off the record, what happened yesterday demonstrated why institutional knowledge and security expertise cannot be treated as administrative overhead. Your restoration work probably saved several critical defense programs. That evening, James Crawford called to update me on the broader industry impact. Dutch word is spreading fast about what you accomplished today. 3 other companies have already reached out to their cleared personnel, offering significant retention packages. Good, better than good. The whole defense contractor community just learned a very expensive lesson about security clearance dependencies. Nobody wants to be the next Apex. What about the companies that panicked yesterday? Mixed results too managed to get their security people back. One company lost their entire cleared workforce to competitors. They're probably looking at 18 months before they can bid on federal contracts again. Charles knocked on my door at 1800 Dutch. The board wants to discuss your compensation package. I'm listening. Base consulting fee of $325,000 annually, plus performance incentives tied to contract renewals. Executive benefits package. And we'd like you to lead a comprehensive review of our security infrastructure. I leaned back in the corner office chair, looking out at the facility where I'd spent 18 years building the systems that kept everything running. Roger that, Charles. I'll get started on the security review tomorrow. There's one more thing. The board asked me to extend a formal apology for yesterday's optimization decision. We understand now that security infrastructure requires different management principles than typical administrative functions. Apology accepted. Let's focus on moving forward. That night, I called Rebecca Torres to confirm all hosting systems were stable. Dutch, everything's running perfectly. But I have to ask, how did you know exactly which protocols to restore first? 18 years of understanding how the pieces fit together. You can't optimize what you don't understand. Well, you probably saved a dozen companies from bankruptcy today. The cascading failures were getting worse by the hour. I checked my tactical watch. 2015. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new systems to optimize, new problems to solve. But tonight, I was sitting in a corner office, making significantly more than my old salary, working for a management team that finally understood the difference between cost and value. The federal investigation would continue for months. Bryce would likely face criminal charges for willful violation of security protocols. Other defense contractors were scrambling to prevent similar disasters in their own organizations. But the mission was accomplished. Critical defense contracts were operational, national security programs were protected, and the entire industry had learned an important lesson about the value of institutional knowledge. Sometimes the best tactical move is patience. Let the other side make mistakes. Then execute your mission according to plan. Direct address to reader. Here's what every man over 50 needs to understand. Your experience isn't overhead, it's infrastructure. When some MBA half your age calls your expertise redundant, they're revealing their ignorance, not your obsolescence. The systems you've built, the relationships you've maintained, the institutional knowledge you carry. That's not administrative burden, that's operational foundation. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. The moment you walk out that door, they'll discover exactly how much they didn't know. Stand your ground. Your decades of experience have value they can't measure and can't replace.